Once again, just jumping right in here. Okay, so I'm in Photoshop. You can see none of my user interface. It's here, but I'm not going to bother with that right now. I'm just going to show you the nitty gritty. What I'm going to do is outside of my panel, I've got my navigator, and I use that to zoom in. Typically, what I like to do is learn hotkeys so that I can quickly get around. In other words, I could hit the so I notice how I have the zoom tool, right? Let's I'm going to hit the B for the brush tool just to show you if I was brushing, I could hit and hold the Z key, and then I could right click and zoom in and out. Okay? So this is zooming way in, way out. Okay? And then when I release, I get back to the brush tool when my interface will allow me to do that. Then I'll hit the space bar, and I can shove this up because what I want to do is start um, getting specifically this area right here, and I'm going to start using the pen tool. There we go. There we go. Okay, zoom in a little tighter. No, actually, I think this might be just perfect. What I'm going to do is, in fact, I'll zoom out just a hair, a little more. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building out these parts and pieces here, and I'm going to use the pen tool. So I'll hit the P key. Okay, maybe zoom back in here. And this is a great example of something that the mouse is actually better to work with than the pen. So if you work with both of them, you'll clearly get why. But now with the pen tool, and I'm going to do this really quick. So I'm going to click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, and then click and drag not so much. And then right at the top here, and at the bottom of each of these, and notice the angle, I'm just sort of quickly pulling these out and just hammering in a point that I'm going to later come back to and edit. So this should give me enough of these elements. I don't want to have like thousands of them in there. I'm going to put one up here. I just want to have fewer than greater. So let's see, pull that out. And you can kind of see by how I'm working with this tool that I'm not making it perfect yet. I'm just sort of knocking out the design and putting in enough points. And then I'll come back later. And here's where you decide on exactly how much time are you going to spend. Like how close are you going to get in, and how exact does the element need to be when you get all the way in. And then see the little O show up in the lower right corner? See that little spot there? Okay, so now it's closed. All right, so I've got a shape here. Okay, a path, a bezier. I've got a shape here. Now I'm going to edit that shape. So I'll choose the actually with the pen tool, I can do all kinds of stuff. I can delete points, or I can add points just with the tool. But what I'm going to do is by holding the Alt key when I roll over a point. Notice how it goes to that different shape. You want to be careful because if you don't get right on the shape, okay, so I'm going to come back around here and watch what happens when I click on this point. So I'm holding down the Alt key, and I'm going to left click and drag off to the left. And I can see what's happening here is I can match this shape up here. And then off screen, I'm going to grab the other point and drag it up here. Okay, so again, I'm going to grab a point and pull it. And notice what happens if I happen to... Okay, so this is pulling it in the correct direction. And I want to keep this same on both sides for now. And I can hold down the Shift key also so that it snaps it perfectly horizontally. Okay, and then I'm still holding the Alt key the whole time. Click and drag to the left. And then I'm going to match the top here. That's close enough. And again, click and drag the other point up. And you notice how it breaks the tangent there when I do that. So I'm going to left, holding down the Alt, left just normal click and drag. And then here we go on screen. I'm still holding the Alt key down. I released the left button on my mouse. I'm going to now I'm going to click down and pull it back out. And again, so here's where I'm starting to develop the shape. So I'll break the tangent here and break the tangent here. And I'm really beginning to model this shape in here. And sometimes I'll just go way out off here so I can see each of these points. You know, and then I can come back in and smooth that out. And again, I'm just getting these very close because I want to zoom in to do a more refined work. Possibly. This may be just enough. This may work out well. I don't know. I'm just going to, I want to work as quickly as possible. That's my goal here. So find that point, drag this up. Where's that point again? And then each point I'm going to go through and make sure that I just touch them and make the modification, because then what I can do is come back in here with another tool that doesn't have the ability to break a tangent, but the A key, or capital A, is the move tool, and you can just, and I'll show you that in a little bit after I get done busting up these things enough to give me the general shape that I want. So I'm going to go through the rest of this, and I'll come back and we'll talk about the next step. All right, so I got that completed all the way around there, and now I can come out, and with the Z key I could zoom in, you know, and this is where you can really, oop, we're way in there, look at that. So here's where you can really tell what our artwork looks like. And then, do we really need to be in this tight? Well, you know, if what you have planned for your motion graphic is that you're gonna, you know, need to be that tight. Okay, so here's the A tool, and then the Shift A changes it from black to white. The black one selects the entire piece of artwork, whereas the white one allows you to select individual parts. So I can select, this is the whole thing, and I could move it, and then I can also come in, oops, click, and then left click. I can refine. This is, you know, you want to, I don't know how exacting we need to be. Again, you just want to see how quickly you can move. So it's better to kind of just knock it out very quickly instead of spending too much time on. What I like to try to come up with is if I can, I'll hold the Shift key down. Notice how it snaps, right? So maybe that's the best way. And then add a 45 with this one. See how holding the Shift key down, it'll snap either to 45 degrees, you know, and try to make it perfect that way. And then I'm going to select this one. And what's going on here? So we're moving this point around. I guess they're right on top of each other, so if I grab and pull them in. See, this is how this one is not broke. I left it connected together. I think because I wanted to leave it like snapped together. So Shift, click, and then Shift, click. So yeah, you'll get some good practice working with this tool. And then again, I'm holding down the Shift key, and I'm going to match both of these sides up here, I think. And I release the Shift key. I'm pressing the Shift key. And this is at the 45, and then left click without the Shift key, and then Shift key. So I'm trying to get this to look as precise as reasonably. You know, you want to pace yourself so that you're working quickly enough. You don't want to be too, you know, I use the term anal-retentive, too exact about this, because, you know, you can always come back in and, you know, refine it after the fact, but if you're spending too much time on it, you're not going to want to come back and you're not going to want to touch it. But if you just kind of like get used to the idea of like, I'm going to have to change this anyways, so I'm just going to kind of like get in, get it in, and get it done. All right.